What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're going to be going into moving averages in Python. So we're going to be looking at what a moving average is and how you can implement a moving average in Python. So before I jump into the video, I just want to let you know about a cool Discord that me and a couple of other people have started. If you're into football or soccer analytics, then this Discord's awesome because there's a lot of really smart people in there that can help you with your code. You can come in and talk football and soccer, and really just sports analytics in general. So the link's in the description below. And while you're at it, be sure to smash the like button. Really appreciate that. But let's talk about moving averages. So moving average is basically going to tell us what the average is over a period of time. So a moving average is really cool because it helps us kind of see better the trends of what's going on with our data rather than just simply plotting, like the up and down line, the roller coaster lines. This one, it's still a roller coaster line, but it helps us see a little bit better the averages so that we're not like seeing just all these random spikes. The spikes aren't like going to affect how we see the data as much if we're using an average. So in this tutorial, we're just going to be covering simple moving averages. There's not a lot of math, but there's a little bit of math that goes into these actual equations, but Python makes it super easy to do just with a couple lines of code. So we're going to do that. If you want to check out the equation, it's here. I'll also leave a link in the description or whatever down below so you can check out a little bit more of the math that's going behind a simple moving average. So to plot them, let's go ahead and jump over to the actual Jupyter notebook that I'm going to be working in and kind of displaying how to do this. So the first thing that we actually need is just to import our packages. So we're going to say import pandas because we need pandas to kind of manipulate the data frame. So we'll say import pandas is PD, and then as well we need matplotlib. So we'll say import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT, and you can just run that cell. Really the only thing that you need for this is those two packages. Obviously, if you want to do a lot more customization, you can do that. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to be evaluating the data. It's this season, so 2020-2021 season data of the expected goals and expected goals against per game for the Tottenham Hotspurs. So Tottenham is really fun to evaluate because they're so good, but they're so bad at the same time. It's a joke, but they just fired Jose Mourinho, so we'll have to see how that all plays out. But anyways, we're going to be looking at the expected goal trend, and we're going to be doing a simple moving average for that. So you can download this file as well as the CSV that I'm going to be using in my GitHub, which is just in the description below. But the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to read in the data. We're going to say df equals pd.read_CSV. I can't type. And the file is just called Tottenham prem xg.csv. And so this data is from fbref.com. It's the best place to get kind of your expected goals game by game data, just kind of some basic statistics, as well as they have some good advanced statistics. And StatsBomb provides them with that, so shout out to both of them. So we're going to look at the data frame. The data frame, if we just type in df.head, it'll let us see the first 5 rows. So as you can tell, we can look at it. We have our date, time, round, day, and then over here is what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at the expected goals, moving average against the expected goals against moving average. And one thing about simple moving averages and just moving averages in general is this data needs to be time series data. Or essentially, it needs to be data that has something to do with data over a period of time, essentially is what that means. I like to look at stock markets as an example. That is something that day by day, you have data for each day. With this, we're looking at each match week is what we're going to be looking at. So that's how we're going to plot that. So the first thing that we're going to do is you can see we have round right here, match week 1. But what we're going to do is we're actually just going to plot. We're going to create another column called just match, because we could go in and just edit all these, but it's much faster if we just create another column. So we do this just by saying df match. So this is going to create another column, and we'll say equals range. So we have 38 matches in one season. So this is an entire like season. Even though the season hasn't been completely played, we'll still be able to do a moving average of the data that we have up to whatever week it is. I think it's week 33, 32. I don't know. Anyways, we're going to say df match equals range 1 through 39. The thing about Python is when we do ranges or when we do looping or we do indexing, the second number or the last number, it goes up to that, but it doesn't include that. So this is going to create a column that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 38, but not include 39, if that makes sense. So if this was 100, it would go up to 99 and stop there. It wouldn't go to 100. That's just how Python kind of works. So we'll go back to 39. So I'll run that, and we can run this cell again, just so we can kind of see what it looks like. And so now we have match right here. So this is our actual match day. You could use this if you wanted to, and you could edit the match week out. I just don't like using match week. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to use a pandas function to create another column called XGSMA, which just stands for our expected goals simple moving average. So say df, and then we'll call it XGSMA equals, and then this is where we do df, and then we need to tell it which column we're wanting to do the moving average on. So we'll say XG, and then we need to say dot rolling, not rowling, rolling. And then we need to pass in an argument called window. So this is telling us like how many days we want to, or how many matches we want to do a moving average over. So with where we only have 38 matches, it's going to be down to about 33. We're probably going to want to look at a 3-game moving average. So we'll say window equals 3. And on the outside of that, you need to put dot mean and then 2 parentheses. And we will run this just so I can show you what it looks like. And so now we can scroll over and we can see XGSMA, and here is the simple moving average of the weeks. And the reason we have these NANs, this means not available. So the one caveat of simple moving average is that it doesn't start until there's been at least that many in the window. You can do something called weighted averages, which is a little bit more complex, not in coding, just in kind of understanding. But basically simple moving averages, they don't take into account, basically in this instance, they're not going to take into account the match until we hit that window that we specified. So since we said window equals 3, it's not going to take into account 1 or 2, but it will start at number 3 because now we have 3. So if we were to switch this to 2, we could look at this again. So now it gives us the simple moving average for every 2 matches. So we're going to be looking at 3. I like looking at 3 with this amount of data. You could do 5 is really popular if you have more. If you're looking at a bigger period of time, you might want to consider something like 20, 50, 100, depending on how long of a time period you're looking at. So it's not going to start until 3. And as we can see, so our simple moving average is 1.933, which is essentially the number of, if we took the expected goals over here, 2.3 plus 2.5 plus 1 divided by 3. And we can test that out. So we'll just say it was 1 plus 2.5 plus 2.3, 5.8. So 5.8 divided by 3, 1.93333. So essentially it's just the average over 3 games, but it shifts every single time. So now that we're at 4, 2.866 is going to be our expected goals average of these 3 right here. So 2.5, 2.3, 3.8. So obviously it's a lot higher than it was before. And this kind of shows the benefit of using a moving average rather than just plotting the expected goals each time. Because as we can see, in this one they had like 1, 2.5, 2.3, and then all of a sudden 3.8 against Manchester United. They won 6-1. I forgot about that. Sorry, Man U fans. So now what we're going to do is we'll just create another column for the simple moving average of the expected goals against. So we'll just do that in this same cell. We'll just say df, and then we'll say XGA-SMA, so expected goals against simple moving average. We'll say equal to df, so our data frame, and then we need to pass in the XGA, so expected goals against, dot rolling, and we want to do the window equals 3, and then dot mean. And we can run that and take a final look at our data frame. So now we can see we have the simple moving average of our expected goals and our expected goals against. So this is the same concept, whether if it's in soccer, whether if it's in stocks, whether if it's in pricing data, the concepts are the same. And basically the code is the same. You just need to tell it what column you want to create if you're adding it to a column. Technically, you don't have to add it to a column. You could just create a new variable for it. But basically what you're going to do is just pass in the column you're wanting to use, dot rolling, so the simple moving average of window 3, the mean just tells it that it's the average, essentially. Okay, so now we can just go ahead and plot it. It's pretty simple. All we have to do is just use matplotlib. We just say plt.plot, and then we need to pass in our match right here. So match 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We just want to say df.match, and then we need to do df.xgsma, and then we need to do another one, so plt.plot, df.match, and then df.xgasma, and let's actually set the colors equal to something. We'll say color equals red for against, and then we'll do color equals, sorry, I'm trying to look around my microphone and type at the same time. Color equals, let's do gray. I don't know. Those are two terrible colors to choose probably, but they were the first ones that come to my head. So we're using those. So we plot those and boom. There it is. It is the simple moving average of the Tottenham Hotspurs in 2020-2021 season up to week 33, I think, 32. Anyways, so as we can see, their expected goals against in the beginning of the season was actually pretty good. Only it was below 1 for a couple of weeks. Only never got up to 1.5. Then at about week 17, they started sucking. Then they did pretty good from week 26 to about 30, and then Jose Mourinho got fired around here because they were sucking again and allowing about 2.7 or so, or not 2.7, allowing about 2 goals a game. And then another thing, we can look at their expected goals. Started off really good, and they just have never gotten back up to that level, which has been surprising because Harry Kane has been doing pretty well in the Premier League this year and is leading the league in scoring, I believe. I don't remember if he still is. At the time of this, I'm pretty sure he is. Anyways, so that is basically the simple moving average and plotting simple moving averages. These are great for analyzing trends in the time series data, like I mentioned, and they're a great tool to add to your kind of repertoire of skills to be able to have, whether it comes to coding or analytics. So it's really simple, like I showed here. You only have to use the dot rolling, set the window, dot mean. So that is it for this video. If you like this video, I have a couple other tutorials that I'll link right here in the video somewhere up here. And it's just a playlist with all the other tutorials I've done with soccer visualizations and everything that's going on. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next video.